Michele is a professional volleyball player turned beauty queen. She is best known for her determination on the court and her passion on stage. Michele is now in the running to become the next Miss Universe Philippines and hopes to represent our country yet again on the international stage.
Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of In Love With Me, where we feature inspiring individuals who share their amazing stories. I am your host, Mafae Velasco, and for this series, our topic is being empowered during quarantine. For this episode, we have a beauty queen, professional athlete to motivate us to take action. So without further ado, let's welcome the beautiful and amazing Michele Gumabao. Hi, Michele.
Ate Mafae. Hi, everybody. Ate, thank you for having me tonight.
Of course, I wanted to invite you here so that you can inspire and share your beautiful journey, and it's still continuing. And I'm so excited to see what the outcome is. Of course, now you're one of the official candidates of the Miss Universe 2020.
Yes.
Before we talk about everything that's been happening, please share with everyone on how you became the beautiful and empowered woman that you are today.
A lot of it would stem from my upbringing. I come from a family of 7 siblings, so we're kind of a big family. And growing up, it just really teaches you how to be competitive and really teaches you how to fight for what you want, to speak up when you want something. So a lot of it would be, I have to say, it was influenced by my parents growing up. They really taught me how to be independent, how to work for what I want, and how to dream big and never stop. So now that I have become matured and experienced more in life, then I was able to apply everything that was ingrained in me ever since. For me, like the guidance of my parents, even until now, means a lot to me.
Mm-hmm. Being a beauty queen and a professional athlete, they're both, competitions where you need strength, you need patience. But of course, there's one or the other that gives you that fighting spirit. Do you feel as though you have that fighting spirit for both?
Sorry, again, the line is going in and out for my end.
Being a beauty queen and a professional athlete, it's a big competitions or where you put yourself in, a position where you are always competing. You have to have the strength, the patience. Yeah. Do you feel as though being part of both worlds, you strive to be better than the other?
What's funny is when I was just an athlete, I thought that the world of beauty pageants was something so different, something so far off that I would never be able to do both. But then when I actually took the risk and tried to be part of beauty pageants, that's when I realized that it's somehow similar. The work ethic, how you practice for a certain skill, how you want to get better. It's all the same. It's the same rigorous training, the same amount of time that you have to invest if you want to win. If you, it's just different. The footwear that we use in volleyball, we wear sneakers, and in beauty pageants, we wear high heels. Mm-hmm. It's a different court. It's a different arena. But I would really have to say I strive to be the best in both areas as I can be. Not one better the other, but to give myself equally 100% like how I did, especially when I started out in sports. And now I'm sort of still kind of new in beauty pageants. This is just my second beauty pageant here in the
Mm,
Philippines. So I would really have to say that I'm still learning. And
mm,
just how I am when it comes to sports, I train every single day. I'm open to learning and improving every single day. And I still believe I can. So that's the mentality I bring now that I'm into beauty pageants.
mhm. I remember when you first joined Binibini, I did like a motivational talk with you and some of the girls for ACEs, and I just
Yeah.
saw the fire in your eyes because after I spoke, you still asked me a lot of questions. To me, that's really a woman that knew what she wanted. Did you feel at that moment, with me sharing what I shared, did you get inspired to really
Yeah.
crown even more?
I really did. I actually didn't know what the whole talk was going to be about, but I love hearing people speak. That
Mm,
is one of the most rewarding things for me to be able to speak, and that's why when people have talks or when you had that talk, I always lend both ears to listen because I know if I'm the one up there speaking, I know the only goal in my head is to inspire, and I know that the people who do the same thing, that's
mm.
also what they're going for. And I just really admire how you conducted that whole thing, and I'm just really naturally inquisitive. That's
Well,
how.
it comes with experience, right? So now that you're experiencing what somewhat I shared with you guys, what would be your advice to, let's say, aspiring women, the young girls that want to follow your footsteps? How would you share, or what would you say on how they can prepare? I mean, especially right now, everyone's at home. We have a lot of time. What would you tell them?
I probably tell them what the same thing I tried telling myself when I first started as an athlete and as a beauty queen. And that is to not be afraid of taking the risk and not being afraid to start again. This quarantine, a lot of people have learned a new skill, learned a new facet about themselves. And it's something that at first might be uncomfortable. At first, it will give you doubt, it will give you uncertainty, it will make you fear the unknown of the things that you're about to get into. But if you just gather that courage and you believe in yourself enough, you'll see the results of everything that you put into all the hard work that you invest. And I just want to remind everyone that there is nothing impossible with a woman that is hardworking and the woman who knows what she wants. Because I started out that to get better, although I wasn't there yet. I wasn't afraid to be criticized. I wasn't afraid to receive criticism, to learn about my weaknesses, to learn about the things that I had to improve on. And I just was open, and I was just an open book, a
Mhm.
student ready to learn. And that's the advice that I want to give everybody is that through the course of this life, no matter what you achieve, no matter what we think we've
Mhm.
achieved in this life, no matter how much success we think we have,
Mhm.
there's always something new to learn, and
Yeah,
there's always something to improve about yourself.
that's so true. So during this time, have you learned something new about yourself, Michelle?
I did. I learned a lot about myself during this quarantine. I actually, first thing, I learned that I can't sit in one place for a long period of time. Because as an athlete, I think I've just always been used to moving, always been on the go. And that was one of my biggest uncertainties this whole quarantine is that I can't survive in my house. I was going crazy. After like a few weeks of resting and
Mhm.
enjoying the time off and chilling in Netflix, then when 3 weeks has gone by, I
Mhm.
realized that I don't want to stay here. I don't want to just be at home.
Mhm.
And I realized that it's possible. I found solace in the fact that so many people are experiencing this the same as me, and so many people are with me on this journey or this predicament that we're in. So I was just going online, talking to a lot of people, trying to connect with people as much. And this is one of the times that I was most thankful for the internet because I was able to connect with so much people, especially my family.
Mhm.
But I would say I learned that I do have a skill in cooking. I love cooking ever since. I love cooking and baking. It's not something that I'd probably do business with or find a business for, but we do have restaurants. But for me, cooking is like something that I like doing for myself and for the people I love, and it's just so relaxing for me to
Mhm.
be able to be in the kitchen and buy new things in the kitchen. That's what I did in this quarantine.
It's also, I guess that's your the definition of me time during this time, right?
Yeah,
But normally, what is your definition of me time?
sleep.
Of
But
course.
living a busy schedule and trying to balancing sports and beauty pageants, especially when I'm both on season, like when it's pre-season of the beauty pageant or the pre-pageant activities, and then I also have practice. My me time would probably be just catching up on sleep, because I first of all I love sleeping. Who doesn't? But it's also something that gives me the energy I need to
Mhm.
achieve everything, to be able to give my 100%. Waking
Mhm.
up at 5 o'clock in the morning every single day for volleyball, and then sleeping late at night just to fulfill all the obligations that you need is easy, but as the time goes by, it becomes harder and harder.
Mhm.
As you do it every single day, the habit that you form, sometimes
Mhm.
you get burned out. And I just really find my me time and spend my me time
Mhm.
sleeping and just enjoying the rest.
And we all need to sleep. It's an
I
important.
agree. No matter how old we are, I stand for naps.
Yes, I see the value in it now. Like even before I do these talks, I was mentioning to you, been catching up with friends and family. But to have energy for live shows, you need. I've been taking like I think it was like 5 minutes or even 2 minutes meditation. I just listen to it just to get me like calm and relaxed for these type of interviews. But for you, you mentioned you wake up at 5 in the morning usually. So when you have an off day, when you feel unmotivated, how do you snap yourself into um, in that motivation to motivate yourself? Like, what do you do?
I find my purpose,
Mm-hmm.
and it's easier said than done. I know my duty is to play volleyball because that is my professional career. But every single day, maybe not every single day, but most of the days, I still struggle waking up in the morning. I must admit, getting my butt to practice, waking up, trying to get that 100% mindset in my head that I have to give my best effort today. It's hard to do it every single day. And I just try to remember why I started all this. I just try to remember the purpose of all this. And I want to get better because I want to improve my career. I want to get better because I want to inspire more people that no matter what you achieved in your life, no matter where you are, I'm currently 27. This is my seventh year in professional volleyball. I don't know
Wow.
when I'm going to retire, but I told myself I will be at my best when I do. And I will not stop at getting better and achieving what why I started all of this in the first place. And I really want to win. So I just remember that. I remember my purpose and I remember my goals. But it's hard to do that at 5 a.m.
I know you were mentioning that. I'm sure after practice or possibly a game, you still have training for the pageantry, Q&A, walking. Hey, enjoy it while you still can because this is your calling right now, Michelle. So, and there's a lot of people here, obviously cheering for you. For shout out, PNMG, RJ, Jane, Katakutan, Mel OD. Hi, thanks for tuning in, guys. Happy Irene. And of course, my mom, ever supportive, all the way from Sydney. Isn't it late, mom? But anyways, thanks for watching. So going back to being an athlete, I know that you have a group of people. So you have a team that is with you during the competition. Versus being in a pageant, you're the only one competing on stage. Is there a difficulty on comparing both worlds?
For me, I don't really see, I haven't really experienced the difficulty in that sense because I love interacting with people.
Mhm.
Whether I'm alone or whether I'm in a group, I just have this innate passion to get to know people, to get to know where they're from, to get to know more about themselves. I love interacting with people and talking to people. So I never found it really hard to engage in a conversation or to fit in a certain group,
Mhm.
whether they come from another country or they come from a different team or a different camp. I treat each other how I would like to be treated, how I would probably treat my family or the people that I look up to the most.
Mhm.
And that has helped me establish relationships no matter where I go. And that has helped me just feel comfortable in any
Mhm.
situation.
So, I know your family is very supportive with everything you're doing. You joined one pageant, you won a crown, you represented the Philippines, and now you're joining another pageant. What is their take on this? It's
Well,
like you're putting them on a roller coaster ride.
at first, my family, of course, before they became on board 100%, I must admit, they also questioned why I wanted to do this, why
Mhm.
I wanted to give it another shot. Because back in Binibini, I was really sacrificing a lot. My professional career had to be put on hold, my businesses had to be put on hold, my commitments in the entertainment industry had to be put on hold for 2 months. And then after that as well, because I was signed with Binibini Pilipinas, but now I have to do it all over again. And my mom, my parents, of course, being one of the breadwinners of our family, of course they asked, is it possible, are you able to do that? And they were just thinking about all the sacrifices I had to make, everything that I had to give up. But I just told them that it's something that I wanted to do. And I
Mhm.
explained to them that you know who I am, you know how competitive I am. And back in 2018, I was just discovering a new side of myself that I must say I know more about that woman now. I
Mhm.
know how to represent her better. I know how to work at it in a different aspect now that I'm joining a new pageant. And I just know that I can give a lot more this year. And I want to challenge myself. I want to see how far I can go. I want to see how I can really push myself to be the best that I can be. And whatever happens this year, 2020 hasn't been the best for all of us, I must admit. But I'm just really looking forward to yet another challenge that I'm taking a risk for.
Mm-hmm. And with that, you come out with such a positive, aura that it makes us really proud of you of what you've become. And if you had a chance to tell your younger self an advice, what would it be? Knowing what you know now.
Go get it. That's what I told myself when I was young. I was a very hesitant girl growing up. I would have to say that there were times that I would second guess myself because of what happened in my family growing up, because of all the challenges that I had to face with my family growing up at a very young age. There were so many questions as to what I can do, what path I'll take.
Mm-hmm.
And even when I got to college, I was very indecisive about what I wanted. I didn't know I wanted to become a volleyball player. I never planned on becoming a beauty queen.
Mm-hmm.
Even the dream that I once had, I didn't really come across to achieve it, and that is to become an accountant. But if I could go back and just tell myself, I'll just tell myself to go get it. Because looking at where I am now, looking at everything that I've been through, I've been redirected so many times, but still standing and very happy and contented of where I am now.
Okay, so I have a few questions here online. If you start to feel overwhelmed with the complexities of life, how do you simplify to get where you want to be?
Whenever I get overwhelmed, I just try to stop and rearrange my thoughts
Mhm.
and try to see what is more important at the moment. And I would set my priorities straight and focus on that. A lot of people ask me, especially balancing sports and beauty pageants, and handling everything. And I just tell them it's all about priorities and what is
Mhm.
more important at the moment, then I'm going to give my 100%.
Mhm. Exactly. Better busy than not.
Oh, that's
um,
true.
Another one. How do you motivate yourself to get things done, even if you didn't get it done the first time you tried?
I understand that it's probably not innate in everyone to become competitive. With me, I am very competitive. I compete with myself. I've grown up with a very competitive environment, but with my siblings, we really never competed against each other. So that's what I'm really thankful for, because now that I'm in a team, now that I'm part of a beauty pageant, I don't look at other girls and see competition. I
Mhm.
look at them and see them as something that I can learn from.
Mhm.
But I look at myself, and when I look at the mirror, that's when I see my real competition. And that's
Mhm.
where I want to beat myself in who I
Mhm.
was yesterday, what I did in the past. I want to be able to overcome that and do better. So that's what motivates me. It's just really that mindset that I know I'm meant for more, that mindset that I know I want to achieve more,
Mhm.
and that it all has a purpose, whether it's for God or yourself or your family or the people who's supporting you. It just has to be for a bigger purpose, and that's what really keeps you going.
Amen to that. So, with sports and the beauty pageant community, did you have any people that you looked up to or mentors that really helped you throughout your journey through sports and being a beauty queen?
I admire the people who mentor someone. So
Mhm.
in sports, it's my coach. It was my seniors at the moment who selflessly just gave their time and their effort. They were never one to hold back when it comes to correcting me, and that's what I'm thankful for. They were never holding back when it comes to sharing with me how I can improve myself. And that's what I experienced when I joined beauty pageants. Being part of Aces and Queens, having so many mamas, having so many mentors who are just
Mhm.
there ready to support you, asking for nothing in return. I was just really thankful for that. And I looked up to them the most because although they have daily jobs, they have other commitments, they have their own lives. When it comes to beauty pageants, it's all passion. And
Mhm.
that's what I really was amazed at when I first joined beauty pageants, is that so many people do this for the love. And
Mhm.
that's what inspired me to give back to them. And
Mhm.
I really looked up to them the most. Their opinion I really value, and that's why whenever they tell me something, I know they know more than me because they've been
Mhm.
in this industry for so longer than me.
So, as a representative of the Philippines, both in your volleyball and being a beauty queen, how does that feel?
All the pictures, I'm really enjoying looking at all the pictures. Representing the Philippines. The first time I ever represented the Philippines in volleyball was when we went abroad for, I think that was the Asian Games.
Mhm.
And when we went there, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know who my teammates were gonna be. I didn't know what the opponent was like. It was just a new world for me representing the Philippines. And I just went there and gave it my best shot and told myself, I'm doing this for experience. I'm going to get better. And when we come back, I know I'll be at my best shape. And
Mhm.
that's how it was when I competed also for Miss Globe. I didn't know what to expect. It was my second pageant, all in all,
Mhm.
first pageant internationally. And although I did get a lot of helpful tips from Nelda, she was Miss Globe prior to me. She gave me a lot of tips. We met up a couple of times and she was able to help me out. But still, I really wasn't sure about anything.
Mhm.
And that's my problem. When things are out of my control, that's when I tend to panic a bit, and that's when I tend to go crazy. So I really am kind of a perfectionist, especially when
Mhm.
it comes to work ethic. So when
Mhm.
I joined Miss Globe, I kind of had a hard time really representing who I was and representing the country that I was representing, the Philippines. And I didn't know who I was supposed to be. I didn't know how I would represent my country to the best of my abilities. In beauty pageants, there's sometimes a criteria that you follow and create a set of guidelines, like what this pageant is looking for in a queen, what this pageant is looking for in a woman. But I didn't get that when I joined Miss Globe. I was just in the dark,
Mhm.
and I just really had to be myself, be the best that I could be, and just represent the Philippines the best way I can, and that is to be happy and to be competitive and to just be nice to everyone. And I made a lot of friends, so that's what I'm really thankful for in all of my experiences representing the country.
And again, even I guess I can only speak for the beauty pageant side, is that, you were blessed. You were the only Filipina girl sent to that pageant that year. So with you just enjoying it, having fun at the same time, being competitive, trying to win the crown for the Philippines, is something, and we're proud of you, Michelle. And like I said, I'm so super excited what the outcome is this year, because yes, you have leveled up yourself, and it's showing. More questions. I think everybody wants to hear from you. Why do humans often associate beauty with morality? Hmm.
I think it's just natural for us to have this mindset because of tradition
Hmm.
and because of stereotypes. But at the end of the day, beauty comes from what is inside of us, and that's why we associate it so much to morality. I do believe that the beauty inside of us is more important than the beauty we see in a mirror or the beauty we see in the faces of other people. So I do hope that a lot of people associate beauty more with morality rather than physical attributes, because then we'll focus more on making ourselves beautiful from the inside.
Well said. I hope that was answered well for you, RJ. Another one. What are the qualities of an athlete and a beauty queen that you have, that you believe that can help inspire others?
I'd mention a few things that are similar to both. And that would be, the first thing is discipline.
Mhm.
That is one of the qualities that I was able to utilize as an athlete transitioning as a beauty queen. Discipline and passion. I'd focus on those two things because those two things are what I really use to inspire the youth. We need discipline in all aspects of our lives, no matter what career you're in or what path you want to take in your life. The discipline that you have to do the things that you don't want to do
Mhm.
is what will motivate you to get better. And the passion that you will hold on to is what will motivate you when things get tough.
Mhm.
And that passion to strive to become better, for me to give back to God, to give back to my family, to everybody who made it possible for me to be where I am now. That's the passion that kept me going. And it's really the same no matter what industry you're in. Those two things stayed with me constantly.
So another question for you. I know that music plays a big part in people's lives. I'm married to an athlete, and before he has a game, he always listens to his hype music or music that will help him, play well, or just have this mindset. So, do you listen to music before a volleyball game, and do you listen to music before competing in a beauty pageant? If so, what kind of music?
I do. Music really sets me in the zone. Whenever I have pre-game rituals, it's always going to be listening to music and meditation. Our coach is Thai, so he really values meditation and taking time to just clear your mind and pray and ask for guidance. But
Mhm.
for me, listening to music has been helpful setting my mindset. I like listening to praise and worship songs.
Mhm.
Being a Christian, I find importance in praying even before a game that I've done 100 of times. I know that one game can cost me everything if I get injured, and that's why I always remind myself that I need to focus. I need to do my best. I need to play my best. I need to be in the best mindset that I can have, and I need the guidance of God. And that's why I like listening to praise and worship songs. Yes, it's not going to put you in that really hype mood that you see when athletes go and step into the court.
Uh-huh.
But what's more important is it sets my mindset.
Mhm.
And that's what I need as an athlete going into the court, because what I've noticed is that the crowd will set your pace.
Right.
But what's in here and what's in here is what you've done before the game, how you prepared. That will stay with you. And that's why I really spend time just in a quiet space before a game and just trying to meditate and be alone.
Mm-hmm. What about going on stage for competition, pageant wise?
It's the same. It's the same. I also try to find a quiet time in the backstage to be able to just put on my earphones and pray. But when it was the pageant, it was just so intense.
Yeah.
There wasn't a time that you can sit down and wait for your turn. It's either you're having your hair done or your makeup, or somebody's pulling you to change your clothes, and somebody's shouting at the background saying that you have to be on stage. So everything is just so intense in the backstage of a beauty pageant, and it doesn't look that way when you see the girls all calm and poised and graceful on stage. But it's a series of running on your high heels at the backstage. So we're really actually athletes.
Yeah. So for you, sneakers or heels?
I love heels. I love heels. Ever since I was young, people always told me I was too tall, and I used that. I wanted to be too tall. That's why I wore heels. When I'm 5'9", so that's relatively tall for a Filipina. And when people look at me, they go like, "Oh, ang tangkad-tangkad mo naman." So I like heels to look extra tall. It gives me an edge.
Yeah. So speaking of, giving back, I see that you've been giving back a lot, especially this time also. Maybe you can share what your advocacy is now, or what has it been, and how can people support you?
I've always believed that your advocacy has to be something innate in you, something that comes naturally to you. That's why when I joined beauty pageants, what I advocated for is sports. Being a professional athlete, sports changed my life, changed my view, changed my mindset, changed who I am as a person. It set so much perspective into my life. And that's why I made it my life's mission to give back to the youth, to help them realize that with sports, you can set yourself straight, you can set your path straight. It can instill in you the discipline and the passion, the work ethic that you need to be competitive in a career or in any career path that you set yourself on. But the problem with this whole pandemic is that sports was one of the industries that was really affected the most. So when I was thinking on how I can help the community and how I can go out there and really do something, because a lot of people are in need, a lot of people are hungry, a lot of people are just they're hopeless. And I thought of starting a new organization. We have a foundation which we started last year called Hunger No More. We've been feeding kids and marginalized communities, but we thought of forming something in response to COVID, in response to the recent times. And that's why Your 200 Pesos was born, was started, and Aldo and I are the ones spearheading that. And we just really first started out helping out our communities, going to Makati for him, going to Quezon City for me, working out with our LGUs. He's a Kagawad in Makati, so he also wants to give back to his community. And it all started with that. Our friends took notice, everything on social media started to blow up, and we thought of starting our own organization just to consolidate everything and to differentiate all the finances, to be transparent with everybody because we don't want it to mix. And that's how it started. And until now, it's still ongoing. 3 months later, people still are helping, donating, and we've come close to more than 4,000 frontliners, also more than 4,000 families that have received their bags. So it's Your 200 Pesos because each of our relief bag costs 200 pesos. Everything inside, from basic goods to basic hygiene kits, we've budgeted that bag into 200 pesos. And that's why the name of the organization is that.
Your 200 pesos goes a long way, guys.
Yes. I never knew. I never knew how much 200 pesos can buy once you really look into budgeting and trying to stretch every single centavo. 200 pesos for a lot of people may not seem much, But what I learned all throughout this pandemic is that 200 pesos that you give makes so much families happy. It puts smiles on so many faces. And that's why we capture everything on social media, post everything on social media, so that all of the people who gave their 200 pesos can see what that money did for people.
And thank you for that. You and Aldo really found an opportunity during these challenging times. You know, that's
That's my
what.
money.
Hello, Tia. Thanks for watching. I'm sure you're proud of your daughter because she's amazing. You know, she has really a great future ahead of her and ongoing. Again, I just wanted to thank you and Aldo for putting up this foundation. Guys, if you want to donate 200 pesos for the Michelle and Aldo's foundation, I'll make sure to put it on the link here in the caption. You can reach out to Michelle. I'm sure she'll be more than happy to answer any more of your questions or share how you can donate. I saw all your posts. You know, it's amazing what you guys are doing because, of course, right now it's a tough time for everyone. You know, and you guys are out there. You know, with your passion and your courage to really share the goodness. I think right now that is something that we should all be inspired by you guys in taking action. You know, especially during this time. And that's what I call being empowered, right? And Michelle, keep going with what you're doing. Please, if you have any other maybe events with the Miss Universe that you can share, promote it now.
As of now, everything for Miss Universe Philippines is going to be online. So they're really encouraging us contestants, as candidates, to create content that would be relevant to the times, that would help engage our audience, help engage all the fans and the supporters, and of course, also contribute to the sponsors that made Miss Universe Philippines possible. So just keep an eye out on anything and everything that would go on the Miss Universe Philippines Facebook page. They've been posting a lot of content there, and everything that we've been preparing for, everything that we've been shooting behind the scenes in the comfort of our homes. I hope that it will come out soon, and we're really going to have a lot of things in store for the coming months for everybody who's looking forward to Miss Universe Philippines. They said that the pageant will be in October, but there's nothing definite still with whatever's happening now with our problems with the pandemic. So let's just stay tuned. We're still ongoing. It's still going to happen, and I'm sure a lot of people are like waiting for what's the next big thing in the Miss Universe Philippines. And I'm sure that we're planning a lot of things for you guys, and I've seen everything. I've seen all the plans. So just rest assured, there's going to be a lot of things coming at you guys for the next few months.
And I guess before we wrap up, last question from Chandra Nam. What qualities of a Miss Universe Philippines should be possessed in the time of global pandemic?
If I would have to relate the qualities of a Miss Universe Philippines during this time, then I would have to choose compassion. Compassion is something that you would have for the people not necessarily close to you, but for the people in need. And we need to be compassionate as beauty queens, as women, because we can do so much. We can lend our voice, we can contribute to our communities. If we only have the compassion to help others, then we would go a long way and we would be able to contribute and help our country.
And with that, guys, I think Michelle has answered all the questions perfectly. I'm so proud of you, Michelle. We'll be
Thank you, Ate.
Good luck with everything you're doing. I will be supporting you. So let me know what I can repost for you. And perhaps after, let's claim it. After you win the crown, let's have you back again to congratulate you even more. With now prayers and positive light to you and your family at this time. Take home today, guys, is so much Michelle shared. You can rewind and replay this video because, wow, she just is an amazing individual, continuing to reinvent herself for a better person. And I think that's something that we can take home from what she's doing and taking action with what she's achieving in her life. So with that, guys, actions speak louder than words. And thank you for tuning in with another episode of In Love With Me. Thanks, Michelle.
Thanks, Adam.
you for watching In Love with Me series.